Here's paying banker for people who are interested. A paying banker is a banker on whom a check is drawn and should pay the check when it is presented for payment. For example, if you're an account holder of Canara Bank and you've drawn the check in South Indian Bank, but that check is of Canara Bank, then Canara Bank becomes the paying banker.
Go.
Now there are certain precautions that the paying banker has to take before he honors a check. They classify into 1. Presentation. Under that comes type. Now the type of a check might be open, crossed, and so on and so forth. He has to examine the check properly and see if it is open, if he can actually pay it and all. Then comes branch. Now the check has to be paid at a branch of the bank. The accounts, he has to examine what kind of account it is. For example, say. Now the check has to be presented during the banking hours, that is the working hours of the bank. Next comes mutilation. If the check is torn beyond recognition or beyond what the banker considers proper, then it can be returned or dishonored. Next is form. Now the amount in the check might be deficient, might be different from what it is in figures and in words. If it is written only in figures, then the banker reserves the right to dishonor it. If it is written only in words, then the banker has 3 options. He can honor the amount in words, he can either return the check, or he can honor the smaller amount. Next is sometimes the check is printed. Now if the banker faces a printed check, then he has to check the authenticity of the print or the person who delivers the check. Next comes unconditional order. The banker cannot honor checks which have weird conditions like only if you marry my daughter, or when my father dies honor the check, or stuff like that. Next is date. The date on the check has to be proper and its authenticity has to be verified. Material alteration. If the script or print on the check is altered by the deliverer or anyone, then the authenticity has to be verified by the banker. Next is endorsement. If the check is endorsed multiple times, then the authenticity of the endorsee or the endorser has to be checked by the banker. Next is legal bar. If the account holder has a garnishee order or any sort of legal bar on his account, then the check cannot be paid. Next comes minor precautions. The minor precautions are divided into order to not pay. There shouldn't be any order by anyone, government, stockholders, or anyone, to not pay the check amount. Then comes evidence of misappropriation. For example, breach of trust and stuff like that. If the banker has evidence that the check will be used for any purpose other than the intended one, then he has the right to dishonor the check. Next is death or insolvency. This requires no explanation. The statutory protection that is offered to the paying banker is covered under section 85 of. Now statutory protection is extended to the paying banker only if the following conditions are satisfied. They are paid an order check. An order check is a check in which it is written pay to A, X, or any person, or order. Then the check should be endorsed by the payee or his order. The check has to be paid in due course. Payment in due course has 3 conditions. That is, it has to be in accordance with the apparent tenor of the instrument. The apparent tenor refers to the intention of the parties as it is evident from the face of the instrument. And the check has to be paid in good faith and without any negligence on part of the banker. And the check has to be paid to the entitled person, that is, the person who is entitled to receive payment. Please like this video and check us out on Facebook, Kraft, that is Kraft with a K, K-R-A-F-T. It's a group.